Good morning, dear students. I hope that the previous class is all clear to you and any doubts are welcome. Feel free to ask me if there is any doubt. So, we were reading the chapter The Enemy, where we came to know how Sadao and Hana met, how they got married, and how one day when they were standing on the railing of their veranda, they saw a man coming out of the mists. When they saw the man closely, they came to know that the man was a white man, and Japan and America were at war at this time, so this man was their enemy. But before enemy, like a human being, Sadao saw that the man was wounded, hurt very badly, and he could die at any time if not treated. So they could not decide what they should do. Should they hand him over to police like true patriots, or should Dr. Sadao treat him as a true doctor? They were in a dilemma and they could not decide it, so ultimately they came to third option, that they would throw the man back into the sea. Although they just said this, their conscience did not allow them to do so. And finally, they came to the decision that first they would serve humanity. How, like a true doctor, Dr. Sadao would treat this person who is in a half dying state and is very wounded. And later on, like true nation lovers, they would hand over the man to police. So they came to this decision, and now finally they are taking the enemy to their house where Dr. Sadao is going to treat him. Thus agreed, together they lifted the man. He was very light, weight wise, he was very light, like a fowl. Fowl is a bird that had been half starved, who's not fed properly for a long time, until it is because he's in a half dying state, so the body it for the body it is used, so it is only feathers and skeleton. Okay, so the weight of the man is so less because he was half starved. So his arms hanging, he was unconscious, his arms hanging. They carried him up the steps into the side door of the house. This door opened into a passage, and down the passage they carried the man towards an empty bedroom. So they came to their house, okay, from the side door of the house, not the main door of the house. From the side door of the house, and then they carried down from a passage and they came to an empty bedroom. It had been the bedroom of Sadao's father, and since his death it had not been used. They laid the man on the deeply matted floor. Everything here had been Japanese to please the old man. Please means to impress him or to make him happy. As you know, Sadao's father was a true Japanese. We knew that if Hana would not have been Japanese, she would not have been accepted by Sadao's father. He was just a Japanese by heart, so he loved everything which was made in Japan. So everything here had been Japanese to please the old man, who would never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Everything should be made in Japan for him. And now, in his bedroom, there was a foreigner. Hana went to the wall cupboards and slipped back a door and took out a soft quilt. She hesitated. The quilt was covered with flowered silk and the lining was pure white silk. So the quilt was very soft, was of pure white silk, and the man was so dirty. So she hesitated that the quilt will be spoiled. He is so dirty, she murmured in distress. And this distress was about the quilt. She was stressed about the quilt. She did not want it to be spoiled. That's why she said, "The man is so dirty." Yes, he had better be washed, Sadao agreed. Sadao also said, yes, the man is dirty, but in his mind, he is actually behaving like a doctor, and he said he must be washed. If you will fetch hot water, I will wash him. Fetch means to go and bring. I cannot bear for you to touch him, she said. So Hana said, I can't tolerate that you would touch him. He is so dirty. We shall have to tell the servants he is here. I will tell Yumi now. She can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him. So as a wife, she said, no, please, you don't wash him. He is so dirty. will ask servants to wash him. She will ask Yumi to wash him. Yumi is the servant for the children. And now they decide that they would go and tell the servants first. Sadao considered a moment, thought about this, telling servants about all this. And then he said, "Let it be so, as you say. You tell Yumi and I will tell the others. As I already have told you, there are three servants. One is gardener, second is cook, and third is Yumi, who's for children. But the utter pallor, utter means extreme, pallor, pale color, of the man's unconscious face moved him first to stoop means bend, and feel his pulse. Before going out, Dr. Sedao saw the enemy and he saw that the man was getting pale. So before going out, again he was a very caring doctor. He checked his pulse rate, he checked his heart before going out. It was faint, but it was there. The pulse was faint, but yes, it was there. He put his hand against the man's cold breast. The heart too was yet alive. The heart was okay. And he said, "He will die unless he is operated on," Sadao said, considering his pulse rate and his condition of his heart, that if this man is not operated on, he will die. Then he further asked, "The question is whether he will not die anyway." This is very important line. The question is that anyway he will die. If he is saved now by Dr. Sedao, he will die. He will be died by police because he is an enemy. So in this way or the other, he will have to die. Hannah cried out in fear when she came to know about the death or the killing of this enemy. She cried out in fear, "Don't try to save him. What if he should live?" And she said, "Let him die. He'll have to die one day or the other. If not here, then he will be died by police. So don't save him. Let him die." But a true doctor, he cannot let a man die, even if the man is about to be hanged the next moment. This is a doctor's duty to save the person. "What if he should die?" Sadao replied. Hannah said, "What if he should live?" Means he should not live, he should die. But Sadao, as a doctor, said, "What if he should die?" Means he should not die. For doctor, each and every life is important. He stood gazing down on the motionless man. So he stared at that motionless man, that enemy, and said, "This man must have extraordinary vitality." Vitality means strength or bravery, or he would have been dead by now, because he had to face a lot of things. First, he was tortured because he was a prisoner of war. Then he was not fed properly. Then there was a gunshot in his body. The bullet was still inside his body. And the worst thing, the rocks had damaged his body very badly. But he was still alive. That was why Dr. Sadao commented that he must have some extraordinary vitality. If there would have been any other person, he would have been dead by now. But he was alive. But then he was very young. The enemy was very young, perhaps not yet 25. "You mean die from the operation?" When Sadao said, "What if he should die?" Here, he said, "What if he should die?" And then Hannah is asking, "You mean die from operation?" Sadao said, "Yes." Hannah considered this doubtfully. She was doubtful that he cannot die during operation. Why? Because she had that trust on Sadao. Dr. Sadao, who was a great surgeon, who was so amazing to such an extent that the general did not send him with the troops. He kept him with him because he could need an operation. So he was the best surgeon in the town. That is the reason Hannah thought, no, if Dr. Sadao is treating this patient, this enemy, he would not die from operation. And when she did not answer, she was just thinking about all this. She did not answer. Then Sadao turned away. "At any rate, something must be done with him," he said. That he is at such a critical state that something must be done with him. "And first he must be washed." He went quickly out of the room and Hannah came behind him. She didn't wish to be left alone with the white man. Whether he was a wounded man, but he was an enemy and she did not want to be left alone with an enemy. So she also came quickly out of the room. He was the first she had seen since she left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there, although she had been in America too with Dr. Sedao for 8 years for her studies. And he was also the enemy was also American, but she didn't know him. Here he was her enemy, a menace, a problem, a danger, a risk, living or dead. So here this person, although he's an American, helpless, wounded man, but whether living or dead, this man is like a danger for them. A prisoner of war at some commoner's house is definitely a risk. They could be accused of traiting. They could be alleged as traitors. They could be titled as traitors. So yes, he was a risk. She turned to the nursery and called Yumi. So she is calling Yumi because they have decided that Hana will tell Yumi about the enemy and Sadao will tell other two servants. But the children heard her voice and she had to go in for a moment and smile at them and play with the baby boy, now nearly 3 months old. So when she called Yumi, her children recognized that it was their mother's voice, so they wanted their mother to come inside. She went there and she smiled at the children, and she also played with the baby boy who was just 3 months old at that time. Over the baby's soft black hair, she motioned to give a gesture. With her mouth, Yumi, come with me. So she slowly gave a gesture to Yumi to come out with her. Yumi said, I will put the baby to bed, he is ready. Means he is ready to sleep. I'll put him to bed, then I'll be with you. She went with Yumi into the bedroom next to the nursery and stood with the boy in her arms while Yumi spread the sleeping quilts on the floor and laid the baby between them. Japanese, they sleep on the floor. So the baby was finally on the sleeping quilts. Then Hana led the way quickly and softly to the kitchen. So Hana and Yumi now are coming to kitchen because Sadao is already there in the kitchen talking to two servants. The two servants were frightened at what their master had just told them. The old gardener, who was also a house servant, pulled a few hairs on his upper lips. So he was in a tense mood. Whatever these two servants were told by Dr. Sedao, they were tense. The master ought not to heal the wound of this white man, he said bluntly to Hana. Old gardener, who was a very old servant of Sedao's house, and he was blunt too, he directly said to Hana, sharply said, that our master should not save an enemy. He clearly said this. The white man ought to die. Like a true patriot, he said, the white man should die. First he was shot, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. Like a true patriot, he is thinking that everyone is trying to kill him. He said, first he was shot, the gun tried to kill him, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. Her is used for sea. So here you can see the personification. Sea doesn't catch anyone. Sea doesn't. Rocks doesn't hurt. Rocks do not hurt anyone. But here personification is used. If the master heals what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. Old gardener is so superstitious in his belief. He said that if Dr. Sedao would heal this wounded man, then gun and sea would take revenge. I will tell Yumi, I will tell him what you say, Hana replied courteously. So Hana very politely replied, okay, I'll tell Dr. Sedao whatever you say. But she herself was also frightened. Although she was not superstitious as the old man was, she did not think the way the old gardener thought. But yes, she was afraid. Could it ever be well to help an enemy? She was thinking. Of course it's not. Is it ever helpful to save an enemy? Nevertheless, she told Yumi to fetch the hot water and bring it to the room where the white man was. So she gave an order to Yumi to bring the hot water. She went ahead and slid back the partitions. So she went again to Sadao's father's room where the enemy was kept. Sadao was not yet there. He has not reached here. Yumi, following, put down her wooden bucket. Then she went over to the white man. Yumi went close to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded themselves into stubbornness. There was a kind of expression of anger on her face. She did not like the sight of the white man. And she said, I have never washed a white man, and I will not wash so dirty a one now. She also clearly said that I have never washed a white man, and I'm not going to wash this white man right now because he is our enemy. Hannah cried at her severely, hardly. You will do what your master commands you. She got angry, and like a master, like an owner, she said, you are a servant and you will have to do whatever I command you. But Yumi was also at that time full of anger. There was so fierce a look of resistance, oppose or refusal upon Yumi's round, dull face that Hannah felt unreasonably afraid. So Yumi was so fierce, she was such hard at refusing this thing that Hannah herself got afraid unreasonably. After all, if the servant should report something that was not as it happened, she was afraid one reason could be that the servants could go out and tell the police anything which was actually not there. They could say that yes, Dr. Sedao and Hannah were sheltering a white man, they were helping an enemy, or they were with the enemy. Any of the allegation could be there. So that is why she was afraid. Then she controlled herself and she said, very well, she said it with dignity. You understand, we only want to bring him to his senses so that we can turn him over as a prisoner. She clears the situation. She says that we are just trying that this man should come to senses, and then we will be handing him over to police. I will have nothing to do with it, Yumi said. So Yumi said, it's none of my business. I am a poor person and it's not my business. So um, it is not important for me whatever you do with the man, but I will not wash him. She said it clearly. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your own work. So Yumi went away. At once, Yumi left the room. She was ready to leave the room. The room was there with an enemy, so she did not want to be there. But this left Hannah with the white man alone, which was not liked by Hannah herself. She might have been too afraid to stay. This structure is already discussed. Too means so much afraid that she could not stay. It's negative one already. She might have been too afraid to stay. Had not her anger, now there is a conditional structure, had not her anger at Yumi's stubbornness now sustained her. Yes, she was afraid to stay there, but she was angry at Yumi, and in anger, she was there standing. Sometimes, what happens that if we are afraid of doing anything, we are in our senses, we are cool, then we cannot have the daring to do that. But when we are at an angry mode, we can do those things also which make us afraid. That same happened with Hannah. Stupid Yumi, she muttered fiercely. Is this anything but a man and a wounded helpless man? Now she is talking to herself. That Yumi is stupid. Why did she not wash him? It's just a man, a wounded helpless man. So she is having anger on Yumi. In the conviction of her own superiority, now she is of the opinion that she was superior. Yumi was afraid, but she was not. She bent impulsively and opened the knotted rugs, torn clothes that kept the white man covered. So she wanted to show her superiority, that Yumi was afraid, but she was not. She could do this work alone. She could wash the white man. So she opened the rugs. When she had his breast bare, she dipped the small clean towel that Yumi had brought into the steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. So first of all, she washed his face, enemy's face. The man's skin, though rough with exposure can be due to water or the tortures he had faced, was of a fine texture. The skin was of very fine texture and must have been very blonde when he was a child. A very beautiful color his skin must have when he was a child. While she was thinking these thoughts, though not really liking the man better now that he was no longer a child. So although she liked the skin pattern, but she was not liking the man. The man was not a child and he was an enemy. She kept on washing him until his upper body was quite clean, but she dared not turn him over. Now she was not having again that courage to turn him over. Where was Sedao? Now she started thinking about Sedao. Now her anger was ebbing Ebbing means reducing, decreasing. She was angry. Why? Because Yumi refused to do so, and in her anger she was cleaning the white man. अगर वो एंग्री नहीं होती, she could not have gathered that courage. Now anger was decreasing and she was anxious again. She again got worried and she rose, wiping her hands on the wrong towel because she was worried. So she wiped her hands on the wrong towel, not clean towel, but with the towel with which she had cleaned the enemy. Then lest the man be chilled, lest and should, this combination you have done in models. Something should not happen. Then lest the man be chilled means the man should not get chilled. She put the quilt over him. Sadao, she called softly. And now she came out. She wanted to come out and she was waiting for Sadao. So this is it for the day. Tomorrow in the next video we will see how Sadao treated the patient. Was he able to save him or not? See the video. Okay, and if there is any doubt, you are most welcome. Have a good day.